I was here for aha Ghanatube so me mama kwaba and back channel way so and I'm when say someone who do I cause we were my gun no and e de ebe who's here for my popua in se ba commune be able saying good here who's here for dimechi na yenkotie in sem.
Let's go to the courts now. The Supreme Court has ordered lawyers of the NDC's parliamentary candidates for Ablekuma North, Okaikwe Central and Techiman South and the Tema Central constituencies to file documents in response to the Electoral Commission. The electoral body filed documents to oppose the NDC's application to quash the High Court's decision which ordered the collation and declaration of results of the disputed constituencies.
At the Apex Court on Thursday, April 3, Counsel for the National Democratic Congress candidates led by Seth Nyaba prayed for an order to extend the time to file a reply to the Electoral Commission's affidavit opposing the substantive request to quash the High Court's decision.
Counsel for the Electoral Commission, Justin Amenuvo, vehemently opposed the application filed by the lawyers of the NDC. He argued that they have had the last 2 months to file their responses since he filed this response to their application in January of this year. So listening to the responses, Justice Dakwa Asare granted the application filed by the lawyers of the NDC and ordered them to file their responses within 7 days. Same orders went to the interested parties for them to file their responses as well.
Lawyer for the NDC parliamentary candidates spoke after the hearing.
In the EC's statement of case, they made reference to a letter that was written by the EC to the Minority Caucus in 2020 in relation to the Techiman South parliamentary election issues in 2020. But that letter is not before the court. So it's part of the reasons why we want to attach that letter to our supplementary affidavit in response to the EC's affidavit in opposition to our proposal. And then in the EC statement of case, they've also raised some fundamental legal issues which we deem it necessary to respond to by way of writing.
To see how things will look like in the coming days as the substantive case is yet to be heard. Lord Basari, TV3 News, Supreme Court, Accra.
Dr. John Jinapo has written to Director of National Investigations Bureau to investigate missing containers belonging to the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, at the Tema Port. In a request dated April 2, 2025, the minister said the finalization of the investigation of the committee tasked to investigate the missing containers indicated that 1,357 of the containers could not be accounted for, thus allegedly missing. His request follows findings of a technical committee that was set up to investigate 2,500 missing ECG containers. He's accordingly praying the NIB to commence investigations into the missing containers and furnish the ministry with the findings of the investigations. There will be more on the story on Ghana Tonight at 10 p.m.
And it's interesting that the same issue on Ghana Tonight yesterday had the former ECG boss talking to Alfredo Kanse. We generated quite some conversation about these missing containers from the port. So now the ministry has formalized the investigation. I would wait to see what the outcomes will be and when that report will be made available. There's still News 360. Let's delve into some other stories now. We're going to Parliament, where the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, has released 2 members of Parliament to the National Intelligence Bureau, the NIB, for interrogation. They are the Member of Parliament for Goma Central, Kwame Asare-Obeng, known as Kwame A+, and the Member of Parliament for Yagaba Kubore, Mustafa Yusuf. A letter from the Clerk of Parliament directed both lawmakers to avail themselves to the NIB in Parliament on Monday, the 7th of April, in the company of their lawyers. This letter is, however, silent on the reasons for the request by the NIB. This is what we know so far regarding these 2 gentlemen or 2 members of Parliament who have been asked by the Speaker to meet with the National Intelligence Bureau, Investigative Bureau, to assist with investigations. So naturally, the question that arises will be, why are these 2 MPs being invited to help with investigations? So what we have from our sources indicate that the Member of Parliament for Yagaba Kubori, who you see on your screens, his name has been mentioned in the National Service Authority ghost name scandal, where he once served as the executive director. He has also been involved in controversy surrounding the budget and organization of the All Africa Games under his watch when he was the sports minister under the erstwhile NPP government. For Kwame Asario being the Member of Parliament for Gumua Central, he says that, or what we have heard from sources indicate that he recently threatened to expose the identity of former government officials who were allegedly involved in Ahmed Swali's murder. Also, he recently posted, I think that should be like yesterday, he posted that he had intercepted a truck carrying suspected missing cables that belong to the ECG in his constituency. So probably it is on the back of these that the investigative outfit wants to speak to them. Now, you know that MPs have some immunity, so that is why he has had to take the speaker to formally release them for investigations or to assist the NIB for investigations. So let's speak to Dr. Rashid Draman, who is the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, on his immediate thoughts on this particular story or developing story. Doc, a very good evening to you. Thank you for your time.
Evening.
I'm sure that, you know, the Speaker being fully aware of the immunities that members of Parliament do enjoy, has had to think through to release them for investigation. How does this hit you? This novel, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. I think these are some of the kind of streamlined processes that over the years we were hoping that at least there would be between Parliament and other kind of branches of government. I mean, MPs, despite the fact that they enjoy some immunities under Article 77 of the Constitution and so on, when it borders on criminality and so on, I think they have to avail themselves to answer. And going through, you know, Parliament and following the right procedure, I think makes this, you know, very tidy. Because at the end of the day, many might be asking, okay, now Article 77 says when you are on your way to Parliament or conducting parliamentary business or, you know, attending to Parliament and so on, they are on recess. But even when they are on recess, they engage in parliamentary business. I mean, most of them are traveling, most of them are doing work in their constituencies, and some of those things that they are doing are all businesses of Parliament. So I think the Right Honourable Speaker should be celebrated. I mean, we have to have these clearly laid down procedures, and that, you know, there's nobody who is above the law, and when members of Parliament are needed, they must be released to answer questions, so that at least it doesn't seem to be like they are making the laws but are living above the laws that they make for the rest of us as ordinary citizens.
But wouldn't you agree that this is also then setting a certain precedent where, for instance, if any member of Parliament is alleged to have been involved in anything or can help with investigations, immediately he has to be released? What then happens to the Article 117, 118 that they enjoy, which says if they are on their way to Parliament or undertaking any parliamentary business, they cannot be giving or served any kind of such an invitation by the investigative arm of government?
Yes, indeed. When they are, I mean, on their way or doing parliamentary business, I think the Constitution is clear, Martin. And also, you remember, I think in the 8th Parliament, there was a lot of back and forth between the Right Honourable Speaker and the judiciary, where the Speaker said at one point they had a conversation with the Chief Justice to agree on days, for instance, on Mondays they don't sit. So I think the agreement was that if you want to serve the Speaker or anybody, the clerk, I mean, do it on Monday, do it through the legal department, and so on and so forth. I think that was not respected at some point, and it created some tension between the judiciary and Parliament. You know, yes, they have immunities, clear, but you know, I think those immunities are not absolute.
Okay. And finally and briefly, should we have been told what the content of that investigation could be as part of the letter the Speaker released?
Yes, in fact, most of us are confused now because we are all just in realms of speculations. We don't know exactly what this is all about. Some are saying it's about the containers. Some are saying it's about the national service scandal. Some are even mentioning Swale, as you have indicated. We don't know. So I think in the spirit of transparency and accountability, I think they should tell us what this is all about.
All right, Dr. Rashid Rahman, thank you so much for speaking to us. He's Executive Director for the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs. Let's also put this out there that the meeting between the two members of Parliament and the NIB, according to the letter from the Speaker, should be within the precincts of Parliament, and the two MPs must also come with their lawyers. So it's a developing subject that we'll keep close eyes on for you.
And now the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boas.
The minister urged traditional leaders, local assemblies and civil society to support the fight against illegal mining.
You have seen for me na was say mudi mwechi my kotie ensem no betimi e de comment no abreme na mejibre akenka e de amofefefe me ka wo se channel we so e Ghanatube so on subscribe hit on the notification bell for quick updates. Abizan for CCAD Macram.